When we were all younger little naive kids with tiny peepees, all we had was the massive junky block of material we called the PC, or an iMac if you had one of those. Who in their right minds had one of those anyway? The first problem was that you had no way of playing the latest and greatest games available at the time, such as Battlefield, Call of Duty 2, or some simulator game. And if you tried, you might have as well used your PC as a fan with how fast that cooler would be trying to operate. Or better still, cook your seasoned chicken on it, because I remember how hot mine would get just from even turning it on. Oh yes, I had an old generation PC. I blame my parents for not understanding the growing tech world, honestly. The second problem, PC took long enough to turn on. And honestly, the definition of insanity is not a good enough explanation for the feeling of madness you would feel when waiting for the PC to turn on or to even load up a site. And the third problem, and most important problem of all, was that you were most likely broke, because being a 5 to 10 year old, you had no way of earning income unless you were part of those very rich families. In that case, you're part of the 0.001% and will never relate to the rest of the world. But for the rest of us, we just had to make do with what we had. And we all knew that we didn't want to spend our entertainment time playing board games like chess, Connect 4, or just playing tag with your siblings. Come flash games to save the day and bring happiness to kids for years to come. I'm Zaid, and welcome to Why Flash Games Will Be Missed. So what are flash games? Let's go back to 1995 for a second. Or for a minute or two, I don't know, depending on how long I speak about it. 1995, the times when websites barely had any animation, as there was no software to help create such things. With this in mind, there was a smart invention that later on filled the tiny brains of young children, adults, and even your grandparents, and that was Future Splash by Futurewave, which was a multimedia software platform that finally allowed developers to animate frame by frame. This at the time was revolutionary, of course, even though now you can literally do that so much easier. But for the 1995's peoples, it was like Twitch giving men high perks over women. Exactly, very revolutionary. And so the era of Future Splash games, or as we call them now, Flash games, had begun. Macromedia bought Future Splash and changed the name to Macromedia Flash, along with it creating a new coding language called ActionScript, which was used to start making games on browsers due to its very efficient data and management, with sites such as Miniclip and Fave using it to store Flash games. Fast forward to a few extra years and Adobe bought Macromedia Flash and changed it to Adobe Flash. As children back when you had access with this, you were essentially spoiled, because any game you wanted to play, chances are there were Flash versions of them on the interweb. And the best thing was, they were all free. Who in the world wouldn't want to get a free version of Bejeweled? Which, if you didn't know what that is, think of it as an old version of Candy Crush, because that's exactly what it was. Multimedia, sports, roleplay, story mode, or even single player games. You name it, it was most likely already a Flash game. Even if school started blocking most of the Flash games on the school computers, there was always some way to find a new Flash game that was not yet blocked on the school Wi-Fi. This all sounds amazing, but why is Adobe ending the life of Flash? Why are they killing the once main source of my entertainment? Let's talk about it. Despite the dominance of Flash, fast forward to 2010s, and Flash was losing its popularity, and fast. When Apple brought out their first iPhone back in 2010, Apple stated that Flash wasn't going to be integrated in the phone, or even in the next year's phone, or ever, due to its performance issues and reliability. And with Apple being the leading industry, many others were to follow their new decision very quickly, with even Chrome no longer running Flash games unless you allowed it in the settings. Because of also the introduction of mobile applications, which provided updates, people began to admire that more, and they began to move away from Flash games, which only decreased the popularity that Adobe Flash and browser games once held. In 2015, YouTube finally decided to switch from a video player that used Flash to one that used HTML5, the newer and improved way of creating browser-based things on the internet. As unlike Flash, HTML5 doesn't require a plugin to work. And if you're an OG on YouTube, you would remember the once snake game you could play whilst your YouTube video loaded. And to redeem for it, after the move from HTML5, YouTube even allowed the loading icon to be a fidget spinner for a certain amount of time due to the increased popularity of fidget spinners in 2017. I actually wish YouTube would do similar fun stuff to spice up the site a bit. You know, adding newer Easter eggs to YouTube like they have on Google, for example, if you search Finals. After YouTube's move to HTML5, many companies had been slowly moving away from Flash, and come 2017, even Adobe themselves announced that they would be ending the life of Flash Player in 2020. Now confirmed to be December 31st, 2020. So what does this mean for Flash games? Will we still be able to play Happy Wheels or Super Smash Flash? Well, perhaps, because Many Flash developers, since the news, have been or are already working on changing or recoding their current Flash games to support the HTML5. And I know although Flash games are old, now the nostalgia it brings is enough to make them fun to play again. Honestly, I am definitely going to miss just jumping on Miniclip to play the Flash games that I had not already played yet. This definitely shows the evolutionary change that Futurewave began as they brought entertainment to the world and a new way for people to animate. We started small with simple 2D black and white browser games to 3D action-packed Flash games, and any game imaginable that is truly epic. I mean, now I've got a $1,000 gaming laptop with only GTX 1050 Ti, but at least I'm able to play proper games rather than Flash games. But you know, nostalgia still stays there. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and also the slight upgrading editing. And don't worry, I will try to keep improving my content as I'm still trying to learn how to better improve my editing to make the viewer experience better. If you guys have anything you want me to make a video on, comment down below or tweet at ZadenGames. Anyways, I hope you guys have a good day and peace!